Hi, good morning. It's 3rd of February, Friday, and the very first page of Times of India presents me the ammunition for today's law news, analysis, and interpretation. Here it goes. It says, ugly handicapped brides, reason for dowry. That is taken from a textbook. The State Board's Class 12 Sociology textbook lists and says that ugly handicapped brides are reason for dowry. And further along, there is a detailed report. Reading from a textbook that uses words like ugly is awkward in class. And this entire report talks about how insensitive these textbooks are and what they are doing to the psyche and brains and mind and growth and development of our children. I'm going to read something, and this is what is written here. This is not said by me, it's written here under a section Major Textbook Horrors. I'm going to read something because this is truly unbelievable. In 2006, a class 9 Hindi textbook of Rajasthan State Board compared housewives to donkeys. It read, a donkey is like a housewife. It has to toil all day and, like her, may even have to give up food and water. In fact, the donkey is a shade better. For while the housewife may sometimes complain and walk off to her parents' home, you will never catch the donkey being disloyal to his master. And well, read the report. There's more. Another section says, I think this is from the textbook of sociology, it says, it is untrue that working women are economically self-sufficient. More or less all working women give their earnings in the hands of their husbands. And further, at the workplace, women have working relations with their male colleagues. Here, women have to establish such cooperative and free relations. Husbands of such women who have no better understanding do not like all these things. Now, without going further into this useless report, it has some use actually. There is an argument that sociology deals with the current and real problems, and therefore facts must be presented as facts are. This is the argument in favor of these inclusions in the textbook. The counter arguments, of course, there are numerous, that the language was insensitive, that this is not what you teach children, so on and so forth. What are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about the legal provisions. We are going to talk about the legal provisions related to dowry. And to conclude, we will also talk about our own views, which I am sure will be very strong. Actually, before going into the legal provisions, for a change, let me go into my views on this, and I borrow from none other than Swami Vivekananda on women. The best thermometer to the progress of a nation is its treatment of its women. There is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of women is improved. Woman has suffered for aeons, A-E-O-N-S, and that has given her infinite patience and infinite perseverance. The idea of perfect womanhood is perfect independence. And one more, there is no hope of rise for that family or country where there is no estimation of women, where they live in sadness. This must be Swamiji, I'm sure, I don't know, I think 1895 maybe, around clearly more than 100 years ago. And in 2006, a genius from Rajasthan State Board compares women in India to donkeys. This is the plight of our country, this is the plight of our education. Further, Swami Vivekananda visited United States more than 100 years ago, and this is what he had to say. Nowhere in the world are women like those of this country. How pure, independent, self-relying, and kind-hearted. It is the women who are the life and soul of this country. All learning and culture are centered in them. Swamiji wrote this in a letter to Swami Ramakrishnananda in 1894. One more. About the women of America, I cannot express my gratitude for their kindness. Lord bless them. In this country, women are the life of every movement and represent all the culture of the nation. For men are too busy to educate themselves. Swamiji wrote this in a letter to his Chennai, Madras-based disciples on 24th January 1894. I tell you something else now. The female population in India is 48.17% in a census cited in 2015. 48.17%, which means half of this country half of this country is women. It also, I'm presuming, a good majority, 99% of that at some point in time or the other will get married and they are compared to be donkeys. While there is a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan going on, while there is a Swachh Dhan Abhiyan going on, something must be done to revolutionize the woman's mindset in India. They control half of this country and yet control nothing. The rest of the country depends on them for progress and yet they control them. There is not an educated lady, single lady anywhere in this country who, the report is not entirely untrue. It is a fact that women work and hand over their salaries to their husbands. It is a fact. It is also a fact that husband's permission is necessary before a woman has to do anything, even work. That is also a fact. But what is of intrigue here is that despite high education, despite great culture, despite being brought up in a democratic society, how is it that women of this country tolerate such comparisons? How is it that it requires somebody like me to do a program like this, to blow these idiots to smithereens, to take them to task? How is it that there is not a voice of protest from 48.17% of this country? When half of our country is not working or will work depending on the moods of their better half, or will work under such circumstances, or will get married under such duress, it means half of the country is not independent. It means half of the country is not even participating in the growth of the nation. How will the nation grow? I will come to the legal aspects of this after telling you something that is really, really important to tell today. If you go to see, there are really no castes and religions. Yes, there are castes in India, and yes, the caste system is deeply rooted. There are religions all over the world, and there are great many religious persuasions in India. But if you go to see, there are only two castes and two religions all over the world and definitely in India: man and woman. Women belonging to any caste are subservient. Women belonging to any religion are dependent. Is there independence equality for women of the country across the spectrum of castes and religions? I think no. Time has come for women to realize their destiny, for men to step aside and let them realize their destiny. Time has come for women to be on the forefront of their rights and not just in Bollywood. A woman must stand up for her rights and also help her other sisters to do so. I will now get into the legal provisions, which is what we are all about. I have a problem with this report. Ugly handicapped brides, reason for dowry. Now, it's a sociology textbook, okay? The sociology claim is that you should tell children what things are as they are for them to understand sociology. Where is it written that dowry is against the law of the land? Why is it not written that dowry has been abolished in India way back in 1961? The Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 is in force. So where is the question of ugly and handicapped women having to pay dowry? Yes, dowry system goes on, but that's something that the nation has to fix. Fix it. If you are being asked to pay dowry for your daughter, or if you're a girl, somebody is asking for dowry, you should open your mouth and walk away. The Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, and that shall scroll down now, is in force. Further, Section 304B of the Indian Penal Code states it has made dowry death a specific punishable offence, and 304B plus 113B, this is for lawyers and this is for somebody facing this trauma. Section 304B of the Indian Penal Code, read together with Section 113B of the Indian Evidence Act, is more than enough to secure the conviction of the idiot who's asking dowry. There is more. Section 113A of the Indian Evidence Act provides a similar presumption for abetment of suicide of a girl if she commits suicide within 7 years of her marriage. It is a tough and strong provision. Within 7 years of marriage, if a housewife or any wife, if a working wife, if a lady commits suicide, there is a presumption that it must have been due to dowry harassment. And Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code deals with husbands and relatives of husband of a woman, subjecting her to cruelty, usually cruelty arising out of dowry demands. And there is one more section which I don't find here, but I think it is section 198A of the Criminal Procedure Code, which deals with prosecution of offences under section 498A. So as you see, laws galore. There is enough provision, but little is being done. Why? Because to a great extent, women are to be blamed. You get educated, you go to school like men, you go to college like men, you take degrees in medical and LLB and law and whatnot like men, and then you suddenly go under your ghungat, wear your bangles, abdicate abjectly, and handle his kitchen. 48.17% of this country undergoing this trauma is truly a tragedy. It is time you rise up. It is time you rise up and do something for your rights and see that your textbooks are cleaned, and such people who write such textbooks are not let anywhere near a school or a child. It is time you bring to justice people who compare you with donkeys in a country where Swami Vivekananda 100 years back spoke for you. I hope the program today stirs your feelings of right and wrong. I hope you see these provisions and halt injustice dead in its track. In fact, I have a suggestion. I closed this program today and then I thought of something as a brainchild. There are parties in India based on religion. Everybody knows it. There are parties in India based on caste system. There is not a single political party for women, by women, of women. Why can't some lady watching this program conceive All India Women's Party or Women's Party of India? You will do fabulously well. Maybe you will have your Prime Minister in the next general elections. Start your own political party. Don't allow men. A party only for women, and you will win elections in a big way, because where's that 48.17% is you. All the best. Thank you for watching me. I like the fact that you're watching this and it encourages me to perform better. See you tomorrow.